I think we're on.
Hold on. We need to do not disturb.
I'm already on airplane mode because
Airplane mode?
airplane
I
mode.
can't because you didn't give me a Wi-Fi password, so I'm on hotspot.
Why don't you ask?
It was automatic. I only just noticed.
Oh, you
But
could have
This
asked.
is a Marvel.
Yeah.
Is yours?
No, my brother's.
It's cute. I was talking about Marvel the other day. Anyway, we digress. Hello. Welcome to 30 What Now?
It's been a long while, guys.
Has it really?
I think it has actually. So I had a look. Our last episode was uploaded 18th of August, maybe end of August, and we would have recorded that episode 2-3 weeks beforehand.
Okay.
So it's been a
Okay.
while since we last recorded.
August isn't too bad, to be honest.
August isn't.
Well, especially given that we'll talk about that today. But I traveled in late June.
Yes.
You traveled in
September.
September.
Almost all of September. Yeah.
in July, August. I'm busy.
I
It's
know,
not
but
bad.
I'm a creature of habit. I like consistency. Like, even when I'm going, if I have a gym program, I would like to know what I'm doing for the next couple weeks. It keeps me accountable. If I don't have that structure, it throws me off. And that's probably similar with life for me,
I
to be
barely know
honest.
what I'm doing next week.
Yeah, see, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that.
So I'm trying to get comfortable.
Also, we are currently filming at mine. If we upload videos of our podcast to Insta,
Can you see me?
you probably could. Let me just move. Let me just check here. Oops. Yeah, you can.
Okay,
It
great.
is
All
all
right.
good. So we're recording at a different place just because I think Melbourne CBD can be quite loud sometimes.
Especially on a Sunday. With the protest. Although, funnily enough, so we're at Mel's place, which is actually not too far from mine. But I forgot what your view was like. It's not bad.
It's okay. If I'm ever naked in my household, people can see. That's my
There's
only
about
concern.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Five.
6 buildings you can look straight into your apartment.
Yeah.
On the flip side, when we do this pickleball thing, by the way, people have been asking, so we will.
Yeah,
but,
we will do that too.
But it's right on there.
Yeah, it's very close.
You can
We
look
just
into
need
it.
to organize,
And
find a
you've,
day.
and you've never been,
I've never been.
even though it's right outside.
No.
And it's $10.
I have never. My brother plays pickleball with his friends. My friends who play pickleball haven't invited me. No, I haven't. And because we talked about playing pickleball as part of our celebratory event, I purposefully also wanted to keep it virginal for.
Okay, sure.
But actually, funny thing about just the city being noisy, one of the updates that I've had is actually me and my brother went to an auction in Springville the other day, and we tried to bid for a house and we didn't get it.
Shame.
Very adult thing to do, and it was I've been to a couple of auctions, but never to the point of bidding. They gave you a paddle and everything, and you had to
And then if you accidentally switch,
yeah, and then you had to. My brother had. So this is my brother's place. It would have been my brother's future place, and he had a strategy. And when you look at how other people are executing their strategy, and then you look at real estate agents and what they do you know that if you were an interested party, then you'll have real estate agents standing next to you, coaxing you. So some of the things that they said to my brother was, "What's an extra $500? This could be your house. We've done a building and pest inspection check. So you've done so much. I can see you in this house, and it's actually a little slimy. I don't know.
so that's real estate agents, not buyers advocates, probably.
No,
Because
no.
buyers advocates attend the auction for you.
I don't know. I
think-
don't know. Probably
so,
we're not at
yeah.
that stage where we'll have an advocate. But this is
Yeah,
the real
yeah,
estate agents trying to get them, the price favorable to the sellers. So I genuinely thought this could have been our last episode in the city, just because it's been a long journey, and anyone who's been in this real estate market will probably know how hard it is to find something that is probably a big compromise, right? It's not
Yeah.
it's not where I wanted to be initially, but the house was decent, the price was decent. I thought this was it. But we're still here, so we'll have plenty more episodes in the chaotic city of Melbourne CBD.
And Mel, your house has a lot of keys. Sorry, I'm just noticing. There's keys on that door, there's keys on that door, there's keys on that door. They're just hanging everywhere.
Yeah. What's your point?
Nothing. I'm just noticing things.
Do we show them the keys or
No.
nah?
No. No, horrible time to be in the housing market. And look, in fairness, and this is probably one of the things we'll talk about at some point, macroeconomic policy doesn't seem to be working.
What does that mean?
It's not.
What do you mean?
Well, the increase in interest rates is meant to do a couple of things. One of them is to reduce spending. But yes, retail is down, but consumer spending still is high enough that it's not slowing down the economy, which is what we want. Right, I haven't seen people default on their, and not that I'm expecting or wanting people to default on their loans, but I haven't seen a lot of defaults on loans, even though interest rates are so high, which is what it's meant to do. It's meant to slow down lending, but it's not.
And that's what people were expecting. People were expecting for more defaults to happen generally,
Well, yeah,
right?
yeah, or at least bring down put downward pressure on the prices because demand will start to slow down because borrowing capacity is going to come down a little bit, right? You can't afford the loan.
Yeah.
And look, we're seeing it now. We're seeing it a little bit. But we're not there yet.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, our generation, was probably holding on to the hope that it'll get better. And I don't know if it is. And coupled with the fact of just, depending on what industry you're in, it seems a little grim as well. Anyway, it's very debilitating. And I know there's plenty of people who have bought houses this year and have, managed to progress in other parts of their life, and it's a little bit of it can be hard. Being a millennial in this period can be very hard, I think, when you haven't set yourself up for it yet, like you haven't got a house.
but there's, I don't know, there's no such thing as setting yourself up anymore. Everyone's struggling. Like maybe there was not struggling, but I haven't heard from anyone recently that's like, your life is great. I know. I mean, life is great, don't get me wrong, but like, houses are expensive, food's expensive. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It's cyclical.
Yeah. By the way, today's episode is gonna be a very different format. I know we're jumping all over the place. I think I have ADHD, but we're taking it very chill. We're having this, just two friends chatting format, which I know happens quite a fair bit, but we've never really implemented that structure.
Point of interest. Mel's mic is 2 pieces of chopsticks.
Yes.
Put together.
Because Arian's using a mic and we only have one mic because we are poor. So we tried using chopsticks.
It's called bootstrapping.
Bootstrapping or chopstick strapping.
I guess. I mean, look, as Mel said, we're saving for a house. So.
Not together, but both individually, the way you said it.
That's true.
Which means there's 2 houses that we need to get.
Oh.
Right?
In this market.
I don't even know where you're looking into.
Oh, I don't even know where I'm looking into. One day it's east, one day it's north, but I kind of want to be Bayside, and then my mood changes. So you know what? Just don't.
Yeah.
Just don't look.
But
just lie down.
For our listeners out there, actually, you know what would be really cool? To know where you are thinking of buying a house if you don't already have a house. Because I think it's good to know where the younger population or the working population will want to be in the next couple of years.
Actually, this is good. This is market research for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, this is really good. This is market research for me. I want to know. Actually, I want to know, in all honesty. And Mel, you can shed some light, maybe not today, but on another episode. But how difficult it is to look, how painful and tiring it is to keep looking, not finding, not quite right, need to change the kitchen, that's going to cost me 30K. Like, I get it, right? What are people's approaches?
Yeah.
Buyer's advocates, do it yourself.
Is it an investment or a live-in? Like, it's a place for you to live in.
Yes. So shoot in your questions, let us know. But not the point of the episode today.
Yes.
But maybe the real point of the episode is me and Mel haven't spoken for a while, actually. So what have I missed, Mel? What have I missed? Last time we did this episode, it was egg freezing.
Yes.
And it was just before I was... No.
No,
was it after I came back from Thailand?
After you came back from Thailand. And so I actually haven't heard much of, your... How do you say? Do you have any revelations coming back from Thailand? I know you did, I know what you did somewhat on a high level, but it'll be really interesting to know whether you felt like you've changed, because it was a solo trip in the end.
It was. Oh my goodness, excuse me.
Oh, I've already bored you already.
Talking about myself bores me. No, Yes.
It was a solo trip. Your first ever solo trip.
It was I.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was I. It was an I solo trip.
You didn't think that you might have discovered
It wasn't.
yourself?
It wasn't profound.
Really?
I didn't come back with a new sense of self. What I did come back with is a worse ankle than I did when I left.
I mean, I guess that's
I mean, I went. Yeah. So okay. So for context, I tore the ligament, a ligament in my foot in Mayish. Still went on this Muay Thai
Camp?
camp in June. Spent 7 days, not quite on the camp. It was off campus in a way, but one of their accommodations. So it was eat, train, sleep for 7 days. Very good.
Yeah.
I've never done that many push-ups in a day before in my life.
And did you feel like you managed to make new friends? Like,
Actually, yeah, okay, a handful. It's, I wouldn't say I find it difficult to get to know people, but you're in a foreign country. I met a lot of people. Met a lot of people from all around the world. I met 2 Neves from Ireland.
oh.
So I met one Neve.
Yeah.
In the morning, she just joined, so we were training together. And then we were going to go... Where were we going to go? We were going to go to some fight that night, potentially. And then she texted me, I found another Neve. And so with 2 Neves, we went to the fight. It was great.
I'm not gonna lie, you're living my dream. I love the Irish.
Why?
I love the accent. I think if you actually place me in Ireland, I would probably go, I would probably establish my life there. That's it. That's game over for me.
That's not impossible. Have you thought about moving to Ireland?
I have, but I think it requires me to really be unattached to Melbourne. So in a way, I have to be single.
Okay.
Yeah, just because my partner probably isn't super keen on moving.
Okay.
At the moment, and it's not. I think it's.
I get that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of those places that I would go uninhibited. Like I would be like, all right, what's an Irish guy name that's great? Let me find my Braden. I don't know. Is that let me find my Rangalad. But requires me to be unattached, and it's an option. If that
I've never been to Ireland.
I've never been either, but I didn't make an Irish friend here
Recently?
a couple months ago.
Oh.
I've spoken to you about her. So her name is Maggie. She is a Chinese Irish gal.
We have not had this conversation. We definitely have not had this conversation now.
Okay. So this is a really interesting probably story about adult friendship. So I am actually thinking whether we should invite her onto the pod one day just to
Why
chat. But she was trialing this CrossFit gym, and I was trialing this CrossFit gym. My friend wasn't there. She didn't have a friend. So they paired us together because they probably saw, 2 Asian girls, similar build, whatever. And then we started talking, and then we decided to go out for coffee. And then we talked about our love for Jade, our love for our culture. And then a friendship bloomed. I've double dated with her and her partner twice already. And her partner's English. And so my boyfriend was like, wow, we've just got like this power accent couple, like this really proper Queen's English and this Irish girl. It's amazing. So yeah. Anyway, sorry, back to the story.
When were you doing CrossFit?
I just did a trial class once. And that's it. One day changed my life, potentially.
One training session changed the course of Mel's life.
One of your life, which means you made a new friendship, and friends could change your life.
That must be how dragon boarding started. You went once and you were like, this is life changing.
It is. So yeah, anyway. So you and 2
Okay,
Neves.
so yes, I traveled. It was a solo trip. I ended up in... Gosh, did I go to Phuket first? I did. Yeah, I ended up in Phuket. That was fun. It was fun, but not... It's not the solo trip that you think when you think of a solo trip.
Did you not do like...
Well, I was in the middle of nowhere in Phuket, right? There was nothing around me except for training gyms. It was gym after gym, protein smoothie bowl after protein smoothie bowl. And then I wrapped up and then I left. But it was nice to be able to not have to think about anything but that.
Yeah. I still think that's quite a good solo trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think one of my favorite things about going on a solo trip is you can do something without really needing to care about what another person might need from the trip. So for you, right, going there, if you decided that you wanted to do the gym, like go to
Oh
the
yeah,
training
I
gym
do
that
whatever
day.
I want whenever I want. If I
Yeah.
don't feel like it, I don't go. No, I agree.
Yeah,
I took a
yeah.
lot of naps. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and I think like some solo trips, like I recently had a trip. I went to Europe, but I met a couple of solo travelers, and they were there to meet gals, go on like the dating apps. That's a different type of solo trip. So I think it's still
That might have
valid.
been me in Europe if I had gone to Europe.
If you had gone to Europe,
If
maybe.
I had gone to Europe, ended up
Yeah.
in Thailand, and then so then I did that, and then I was meant to do. I say meant to do, but I did go meant to do a. Let's not call it spiritual, but nice quiet
Yeah,
trip to
yeah,
Chiang Mai, which
yeah.
is northern Thailand. So I did end up in Chiang Mai. It was rainy season. I knew that going in, and I'm very familiar with rainy season in Southeast Asia, as
Yes,
you
yes,
know,
yes. Because we're Malaysian.
because in case you haven't heard. But it was rainy season.
Yeah.
But that was okay. It just meant I stayed at home a little bit, saw some temples,
Mm.
which is really, really interesting. I did the markets at night. Chiang Mai is not somewhere you it doesn't feel unsafe, but it's very dark at night in the
Right.
streets.
Right.
It's kind of like walking around uh, I don't know, like a
Alleyway?
kapong, like a yeah,
Like a kampong, you say?
no, well, like a kapong in Malaysia, like it's built up. There's houses, there's some street lights, but not enough, and like it's so quiet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The markets are good, and then as you do, I got sick
Yes, okay. How, like, as in, like,
from the food.
Bali belly
Yeah,
type?
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're Malaysian. How
Yeah,
dare
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you?
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But this was
Bad?
more sus than typical. But yeah, it was sus.
What do you mean
But
by
it
it
was
was
good.
sus? What do
It
you mean
was
by
good. The market,
Oh, right. The place was
the
sus.
place,
Not
yeah,
the
food, the place, the food was sus.
Not the tummy ache was sus.
No, that was a tummy ache. That was a you know. So that was good.
Yep.
Would I recommend Chiang Mai? Depends what you're after. Like the markets are great. The naturey kind of old town vibe is great. But then I speak to some Australians here and I tell them I grew up with all of this. Like
Yeah.
there's no novelty to me,
Yeah.
right?
I think that's fair. I think that's why when, like, for us going to Southeast Asia will probably feel very familiar. I think you'll get because you haven't been to Europe solo.
No.
I think when you go there, the vibe will be different.
Yeah.
And I also think that if we ever go to different continents, like, the African continent, South America, all that, it will be very different. I think when I go to Southeast Asia, there's a little bit of comfort, somewhat, because we would know the vibe. Like, when
Yeah.
we get mosquito bites, we're like, it's fine. As long as it could be dengue, and it's probably fine.
It could be dengue. It's okay, but you get a fever, you go to the hospital, you get fluids, and you go home. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. You could. Oh, other people can't have the ice in case that gives them a tummy ache. You can just have the ice.
Well,
It's fine.
The other day, somebody I know is going to Bali or is going to Bali, and they said, "Oh, I need to get my tetanus shots," and I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, I probably should get my tetanus shot if I don't have it already, but what?
No, I know people get shots before they go overseas. I've never gotten a shot before I go overseas.
yeah.
I think the only time that I would is if I think someone did say if you go to Africa or South America,
There's some, yeah.
there's some stuff. Yeah.
But then whenever they mention a Southeast Asian country, I'm like, what?
Yeah. I don't think I got. I remember I went to India 10 years ago. I didn't take any shot to go to India.
Maybe you should have.
Maybe this is why I'm so fucked up. But that's really. Would you travel anywhere else solo? Like, has that ignited something within
Well, I
you?
still, yes and no. Yes, because I like the freedom of being able to do whatever, whenever. But at the same time, on the flip side, it's nice to travel with someone.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a lot of decisions that I need to make, and when I'm alone, I'm just like, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I don't have to go.
Yeah. Right.
But if you're with someone else and you bounce it around, you just need that banter. You just need to talk a little bit. And you're like, all right, we'll go. We'll make the best of it.
That's why you befriend strangers actually for that banter.
That's why I befriended strangers. And I mean, it was good, right? Met a lot of people at the camp, chit chatted, but again, everybody was there for a purpose.
Yeah.
And they're there for a long time. They're there for a month.
Yes.
And a lot of them were or are competitors back home, and this is like the next step for them, learning a new skill. And I was like, I have never kicked anything before in my life.
Yeah. So you need to find probably other newbies.
Yeah, there weren't many.
Yeah.
There weren't many.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that was my trip. And you were in Europe?
I was in Europe. I was in Europe for a dragon boating comp.
How'd that go?
It wasn't what I wanted. I think I think so. What everyone knows I have egg frozen. I frozen my eggs, and as you can tell now, I'm a little bit sniffly still. And Aaron's sniffly not because he's frozen his eggs, but for unknown reasons.
I'm always sniffly.
But I have been really sick actually during the whole winter, and it's really funny, right? When I reached Europe, the moment I stepped out of the Italian airport, my sniffles were gone. For some reason, like it just
Must be nice.
It must be so nice. Like I just felt so much better about myself as a human being. But that meant that I missed out on a lot of training sessions, a lot of gym sessions, and I probably got a little fatter, maybe partially from the egg freezing. But I wasn't able to be in the category that I wanted, and that really upset me. Like I actually think I was spiraling into maybe a sort of depressive state, and it's taken me a couple weeks to consider why. And I think, right, I'm gonna bring it back to our very first episode, because being in that competitive crew was in my New Year's resolution. And when I had to look back at all my resolutions, I haven't actually ticked off any. Like one of them was to get a pay raise, but the economy is really shit right now, so I didn't get a pay raise. The other one would have been in this competitive crew. I didn't get in, and I haven't got my driver's license yet. It's on the list. I haven't
still got 2.5 months.
I still have 2.5 months, but at this point in my life, I didn't meet any of my New Year's resolutions.
Did you have fun at least in the past 10 months?
I did.
Yeah.
But I didn't hit my goal. Yeah, I did. No,
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
But I didn't hit my goals. And so at that point, I was really upset. And my kind of new sort of perception coming out of this is, I wondered whether I have placed too much importance on this, if it would have impacted how happy I was this year. You know what I mean? If it impacted how I felt about myself this year. My brother even said to me, it's been a while since it's been a while since, you look like you're having fun in the sport rather than being competitive in the sport. And, going back to like my personality, I only do things I'm good at because it gives me that validity. And now
things that I'm good at.
No, but it's true. Like, yeah, like even this podcast, if it's not growing at a certain point, I will be like, what's the point? Like, and I'm not
for the vibes, Mel.
I know, but I'm not good at that. I'm not good at doing
I'll bring
things.
the vibes.
Yeah, I'm not good at doing things for the enjoyment of doing things. No, it's true. Like,
I want you to listen to that when you listen to the recording.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not good at doing things for the enjoyment of doing things.
But you know what I mean? Like, even when I was talking to my partner, he said that I'm not good at golfing, but I love doing golfing because it allows me to hang out with friends and blah, blah, blah. I used to salsa dance, and I stopped because I wasn't good. Like, that's it.
Well, I mean, maybe that's a bit different, right? Because you do it and you're not good and you don't get any better, then it's just suffering for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
But like, if you can do it well enough,
Yes.
then yeah.
But because of this whole instance, it's made me rethink, right? I think the other thing that I've thought is I've made dragon boating probably my other personality outside of work, or just my other personality.
Has definitely been your personality.
Yes.
To pad
to paddle, not row, to paddle.
I don't want to offend her.
No, you haven't. But, and I think because it makes me think maybe I'm not meant to be that much of a competitive paddler. Maybe I'm not, that's not meant to be my whole
I mean, you've
activity.
represented Australia twice.
Once.
You've represented Australia once.
Yes. But even then, I wasn't the strongest on my team.
Yeah. We can't always be the best, Mel.
I know, but
Which
that
is sad.
sucks.
I know.
But because of that, I'm really taking a whole new perception on who I am. Like maybe I shouldn't have placed so much. Like maybe I shouldn't have been so upset that I wasn't in that competitive crew.
No, I think it's right that you were upset. I mean, you train hard for it. It's your sport. You're in there to try and be the best. You may not always be the best, but you might as well work hard for it.
But I was maybe I shouldn't be that. I was really upset.
Yeah.
But
Although in fairness, though, it is a team sport.
it is. No, I get it. I get it. But there's a lot of. I think I placed a lot of the validity of this year onto that instance.
Right.
So
it was building up to it.
It was building up to it for me. And now I've got a whole new perception, probably on who I want to be, because I no longer want that to be my sole identity.
Okay. So what next?
So what next is I'm trying to do the mini try. I'm not trying to be good at it. I just want to test.
I think just do it to finish.
Do it to finish. And I think I just
But you can't be disappointed if you don't get a time that you don't like.
Oh, I just want to make sure I don't drown.
Okay. So you just don't want a DNF.
I don't want a DNF.
Okay.
Actually, if I even DNF, I don't know, maybe. But I'm trying to figure out what to do just next generally. Like, even wanting to do the try, wanting to get my license.
What's the next challenge?
What's the next challenge?
I agree.
But not have the competitiveness of anything impact me.
Yeah.
Even with this podcast, I've already spoken to you about my hopes and dreams for this, right? And it made me rethink. I probably shouldn't be so forward thinking, because that might put a lot of pressure on us on this.
Podcast is one of them, but triathlon, running, if you decide to start running again, do it. If you're good, fine. Success will find you, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. Don't know. That was some profound shit.
No, but I think that's it. So now I feel like I'm going through a mini identity crisis that's to do with who I am outside of work.
What's your hobby sport?
My hobby sport.
Or health hobby?
I don't know.
Because you're training the gym's important, but a lot of it has revolved around the sport.
Yes.
And let's say you still dragon boat, but casually, right?
Yeah.
You drop back and you don't competitively paddle anymore. Do you have one in mind? You may not have one now.
No, I don't.
Like a tennis. Tennis is great. And look,
I don't know how to play tennis.
We're not going to be a Serena Williams or a Nadal has retired.
Yeah. So maybe we can take his spot.
In all seriousness, maybe it's pickleball, maybe it's paddle, maybe you want to start running again. Like, I'm never going to be the fastest runner in my life ever.
I think you're right. So it's me trying to. I think I'll still want to do it.
Yeah.
I just probably had the wrong mindset at that point.
You're gonna move into rowing?
No. Even my brother's like, you just gotta make sure you don't fall into a trap of being too competitive in anything new thing that you do either.
Correct. That's why you want to do something where you can't be too competitive.
Also, that you're bad at.
No, well, okay. See, my vibe out of all of this, my takeaway is it can't be a team sport.
Why?
I think team sports are great, but team sports give you this team mentality of let's get better, let's keep training, let's compete.
Yeah. Okay.
An individual sport is I'm here to play, but it's me.
Right.
I have nothing to prove to anyone else in the team but me.
I thought you were going to say that I'm selfish, but if anything, you're saying that I'm too selfless.
A little bit, right? Because when you're in the team, if I'm in a team, and I don't do team sports, mind you, but if I'm in a team, I want to do really well. But I want to do really well because of the team.
Yeah,
I would still want to be
yeah.
the best in the team, but because I have a team.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Like if I'm playing tennis, again, I'm horrible at tennis. I'm horrible at most sports, mind you. But I don't have anything to prove to anyone because there's no team. There might be a coach, but like, you get what I mean?
That's a really interesting take. I've actually never heard of that before.
And that's why I think like if you're running, you can run and you run at your own pace. You're not comparing yourself to a teammate. You might compare yourself to strangers, but I don't know you. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. No, I am very profound by that. I actually am very profound by that. Maybe.
Yeah.
So here is this year, I think the rest of the year and maybe, I don't know,
There's
going
not
on.
much time left.
I know there's not much time left, but I just want to make sure I don't put too much pressure
I'm going to hold
on.
Mel accountable to this, right? So you heard it here first. Mel, driver's license
Yes.
on the list.
Yes.
Some other health hobby. And look, in fairness, okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to say it's not CrossFit.
Not CrossFit because
It's not a martial art.
I love. Do you know I used to be a black belt in Taekwondo?
When was the last time you did Taekwondo?
That was when I was 15.
Should pick
But-
it up again.
But firstly, triathlon first, because
Okay, yes, okay.
a lot of time, a
So,
lot of time.
I think the focus for the year, again, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Driver's license and
Yeah.
finishing at least one tri race.
Yeah,
In the year or Jan Feb?
so you don't know this,
Okay.
but
But you've signed up?
no, I haven't. But I had a look at all the upcoming triathlons. I can't do the December one because I've got to work at Christmas party.
When is it, December?
7 or 8 of December.
Singular?
I don't know. Can't remember. I just
Sorry,
know.
for reference to our listeners, it's the 2 triathlon series. That mind you, there are many other triathlon races.
Yes, I know.
It just so happens that 2 is quite loud.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. So you can't do December.
January, I might be in Malaysia for Lunar New Year.
Yeah, amazing.
And then you said Feb, the
Feb
Sandringham
is Sandy.
is really hard.
Well, there's a high likelihood I do that one. So, but fine, whatever.
Yeah. So it would have been March. It's the closer
It
one.
might get colder. in
It might
March.
get colder. So if
So
if
you have to do
anything,
November.
I'm thinking about the November one, and I know there's a try for triathlon training plan, but it requires me to go to Albert Park or Elwood Life Saving Club, and I'm trying to figure out the best way of getting there. So it's on my head whether I do the November one.
I highly recommend Tri Alliance's Try the Tri program. It was good. I think it was really good for me when I did it last year. And look, in fairness, I
Did you go to every session?
did not go to every session.
How many sessions did you go to?
Well, twice a week. I went twice a week.
Okay, because
Out
there's
of
like
three.
5 sessions technically, like a Tuesday morning, Thursday morning, Thursday night. Oh, it's 4 sessions.
It's 4 sessions.
Saturday and Sunday, so it's 4 sessions
Yeah,
a
4 to
week.
5 sessions. I didn't do any of the cycling.
Because you know how to cycle.
Yes. I did the running because of vibes.
Yeah.
And I did the swimming because I'll probably drown.
Yeah. Yes.
And look, again, in fairness, I did a really small triathlon because my swimming wasn't, I wasn't confident enough in the swim. So I'm building up to it this year. But yeah, no, it's good fun.
Yeah. So I think hopefully those are the 2 main goals.
But, sorry, before I go on to my but, yes, that means you have to do November or February.
Yes.
Okay. November, all right. that's
It's
about-
only 200-meter swim in
Oh,
comparison.
you're doing the
really fun
you're doing,
try.
You're doing the fun try.
Yeah, I'm thinking of
That'd
the
be
really
fun.
mini one because I am, similar to you. I'm probably a little scared about the ocean.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Well, let's take this offline, but let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Because we should go for a swim.
Yeah.
next week. The
Yeah.
weather's good.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right, so Mel's
All
gonna
right.
try a try. This is great.
Yeah.
Speaking of tries, I will also race.
Yeah. Do you want to meet us there? Do we have fans enough to like?
Should we record there?
We could try to record their posts. You don't know. Like, we'll see.
Well, because this time last year we did the half marathon.
Yeah.
Did we both run the half?
We both ran
Oh
the
yeah, because you
half.
beat me.
Oh yes.
Oh yes, I'm proud
Oh
of that.
yes. Actually, I've forgotten. I had a look at my Insta and I forgotten I did the half. If I'm honest.
So okay, sorry. So back to travels. So
Back to travels. Yes.
how do we get here?
We talked about because I was talking about my life reflections.
Right. Okay.
Yes,
So I want to reflect back on your trip
yes.
to Europe.
Yes.
Where did you go? What did you do? So we spoke about the dragon boating bit.
Yeah.
But then yeah. So where did you go? What did you do? Did you have a wedding somewhere in Europe?
No, that was not me. No,
Huh.
that was other friends that you have.
Very likely. All right,
Well,
where did you go? Tell me.
okay, so the competition was in a place called Ravenna, which is basically the Mornington Peninsula of. Actually, no, it was technically in Cervia, which is the Mornington Peninsula vibes.
Is that where
of
Princess
Italy.
Diaries is from?
No,
There's a
that's
Princess Diaries
Genovia.
too.
Three. This is three. Stay on topic. um, and then from there, by the way, that's where we had the best pasta. Like out of all my Europe trip, there was this cacio e pepe with like raw prawns. That's just divine. We went to Venice, and it was great. I actually went to
I
Venice.
saw the photos.
So good. I've actually been to Venice with an ex, so it's nice to go to Venice again with a current boyfriend. It's like refresh the memory. I thought that was good.
I see.
The one other place that I went to with that same ex is probably France, so we need to refresh that memory at some point.
All right, so 2025 Euro Summer France.
I do have a wedding in
Oh, do
in
you?
France next year, so yeah. And then so Venice is great. I've always loved Venice. I think it brings back it's just such a different place, right? You hardly.
I've never
see-
been. No,
You've
no,
never
no,
been?
no, no, I've never
Oh,
been to Venice. It's on the list.
It is expensive. It is
Yeah.
crowded with tourists.
Yeah.
But you go there for the views.
Yeah, I imagine.
Right. Then we went to Croatia, so we then booked a car in Croatia, and so we drove from Zagreb down to Dubrovnik, and Dubrovnik is where Game of Thrones is at, so it's amazing. It was really good to go there by car because we actually stopped over at random places that you wouldn't have stopped over if you went by a bus or whatnot. So a couple of the really cool spots, like we went to Plitvice National Park. It's this really beautiful park with full of waterfalls. And then from the park, we actually stumbled across into this Knin fortress, which is meant to be the oldest fortress in Europe.
What's it called?
Knin, Knin.
Knin.
Pardon the snot. Dean knows. And what was it? It's meant to be the oldest fortress in Europe. And it was so unkept. The ticket fees was €6 per ticket per person.
I feel like it could be more than that. Like
Yeah.
it should be more than that.
It should be more than that. But it was like it was so unclean. Like you go in, there's no safety railings. Like you can go up these stairs and you could fall down at any point and hurt yourself. It felt so non-touristy. It was probably one of our favorite historical spot. And then on top of apart from Knin Plitvice, the last one that we thought was really cool was this place called Ston.
Jo-
Ston.
Ston.
And essentially, there is they have this Great Wall, and it's the second largest Great Wall after this Great Wall of China.
Really? So this
Yeah.
is the Great Wall of Croatia.
This is the Great Wall
This
of
is really good.
Croatia, and it was basically another fortress town thing, and we didn't climb. You could have climbed onto the wall, but we didn't have time. And if we had the time, we would have gone back and actually do it. But it's not on a tourist list. Like I think it's for locals to go to. So if you were ever thinking about going to Croatia,
That is
a car
cool.
ride, like taking a car, is amazing.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is, wow.
Yeah, and it was. And what else?
Who was it trying to protect Croatia from?
So actually, this is really interesting. So I went to Venice, right? Then we went to Croatia, and then we'll go to Turkey.
Okay.
But-
and then we will all go to Turkey on the journey with Mel.
Yes, we'll all go
Yes.
to Turkey on the journey with Mel. But Croatia used to have to protect itself against the Romans, so Split. One of a Roman emperor actually put his summer palace in Split. That's why the tourists will go to Split for that reason. Dubrovnik used to be called the land of the oak trees, but when the Venetians went to Dubrovnik, they cut down their oak trees and used the trees to build Venice. And so, and then when you go down later part of the history, then the Ottoman Empire will come and then conquer them. And this is why there's certain food that's been influenced by Turkish culture. So they have they have burek. I actually didn't see as many bureks in Turkey. I saw more in Croatia.
Did you see more in Queen Vic Market?
I see more in but can I just say the burek in Croatia delicious. The gelato in Croatia arguably better than Italy. Yeah, so controversial, but it was just better than Italy. So they were protecting themselves from, I guess, the Venetians, which they were a very strong merchant city at one point, and then the Ottoman, and obviously at some point Austria-Hungary came in and conquered Croatia as well, which is why strudel is a big thing in Croatia.
Why?
Because the Austrian-Hungarian Empire conquered Croatia, and strudel was yeah. So Croatia is this amalgamation of different cultures that conquered them too. So we loved Croatia. Ryan didn't like the seafood that's in Croatia, but I really enjoyed it. Then we went to Turkey, and so for any Turkish people out there, I'm so sorry, but Istanbul really sucked for us. Like, currently Istanbul is also going through serious inflation, so everything's up by 70%.
That's pretty crazy.
So yeah, like two kebabs for two people costed between 30 to 40 Australian dollars.
Holy.
And the museum prices, ticketing prices were expensive.
But the hot air balloon.
The hot air balloon, that's in Cappadocia.
Oh, okay.
So different, outside of Istanbul. So within Istanbul, things were expensive. There's so many people. Chinese and Korean tourist groups, massive there.
Oh.
Right. They've started, I don't know how long they started going there. So the lines were massive, and some of the people weren't that nice. We actually found a lot of people that weren't as friendly, whereas in Croatia, people told us that they could be a little blunt, and they were still very friendly. Yeah, so anyway, really didn't like Istanbul, sorry, Turkish people, but we loved Cappadocia, which is also a very tourist place.
Yeah.
Very touristy, and because of that, a little expensive, but you kind of pay, you get what you pay
Yeah, you get what you pay for. Yeah, I get it.
But yeah, so that's my European adventure.
So you did, hold on, so recap. Italy, Venice, Croatia, Istanbul, Turkey.
Yeah.
That's a good split.
It is a good split. And they were all historically bounded to each other. So, for example, in Venice, there's, the St. Mark's Cathedral. At every point in Croatia and at every point in Turkey, not every point, at a lot of points, you'll hear the name St. Mark's being brought up because it's all like linking, and obviously Europe, there's a lot of linkage as is. But it feels really cool. Maybe this is where, remember how I said I was a Ravenclaw? Maybe this is like showcasing my nerdness, where I was like, wow, it's all connected.
So wait, okay, so what was, that's pretty interesting actually. What was your favorite part of the trip?
I do love Croatia. I think the less touristy things we did was good. So
Yeah.
National Park, the different cities that were probably unkept were really nice. I think the people were really nice too.
Yeah.
The food, I would still say, like, the food in Italy is still better. I would go back to Italy, obviously, to eat the food.
But not the gelato. You'd rather go to
Not the
Croatia for
gelato.
the gelato.
Croatia for the
Got
gelato.
it.
You hear it first here. And then obviously Cappadocia was amazing. And you know what's really funny? You go up, like, we debated on whether we should do the hot air balloons because they were
100%
expensive.
you should do the hot air balloon.
But they were expensive. They were $900 for
Yeah,
two
yeah,
people.
yeah. That is cheaper than Melbourne.
Yeah, but in Turkey, so $900 during peak season. Apparently when it's really summer hot, it was like $500.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Well,
So
not
we
cheap, but-
debated about it. But what's really funny, this is one of my favorite views. Like, you go up on the hot air balloon and you'll see all these hot air balloons, and it's so cool. And then if you go down, you look down onto where other people are standing, you'll see all these people taking like Insta photos of themselves, like in the long dress. It's like Bali vibes, long dresses.
I'm gonna Google this.
There were lots of vintage cars too. So there's lots of people with their long dresses on vintage cars or engagement photos, maybe with the vintage cars as well. So the floor was littered with these Instagrammers or models,
Oh,
whatnot.
and so that doesn't actually sound enjoyable, to be honest.
No, but you're on the balloon.
Yeah.
So
Enjoyable for you.
enjoyable for me.
But then you're looking down.
You look down, but I think what was enjoyable is like, wow, this is the amount of effort that people have to do to get this amazing photos. I just thought it was really funny. I really enjoyed that. So I think those trips are good. I think, similar to every other European city, going to Dubrovnik, Split, Zagreb, it's kind of like just another European city,
Yeah,
but you want to
yeah.
take it off. But the journey along the way to get there is what made it special.
I think this is sorry, I just found a photo. Our listeners can't see, nor can the people on the video, but I've just found a photo of someone in a dress with the hot air balloons behind them, and I'm going to assume this is probably one of the people that you saw, or that vibe.
The vibe. No. I'll show you a more intense photo. No. I'm just gonna show you like
All
there's
right,
more.
all right,
There's
all
more
right.
intense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, can we post it up for our viewers to see?
I can probably post a video. Maybe we'll see. We'll see if I can find them. I actually did come back with probably like thousands of photos and videos on my phone. So
Okay, sorry.
important? Is this important to talk about?
Speaking of tech,
Yes.
somewhere along Mel's trip, I got a notification that said my iCloud storage is almost full. And I said, what the fuck? And so when I went online, or whatever it is, iCloud.com, whatever it is, and I was like, what photos are these? It's photos of Mel dancing with some kid in Venice, I think, somewhere in the world. And I'm like, why the fuck are Mel's photos on my...
All right. There's a reason.
Okay, and so one, I haven't figured it out. Two, they're still there, mind you. And three, I had to shut off photos storage on iCloud because it was full. But apparently, to be able to exit the shared library, you must turn it on. And so it's a whole...
So we have a shared album for this, in case we post things and such. And sometimes I also have shared albums with other people for dragon boating stuff. I have a couple. I love shared albums, but here is the catch, ladies and gentlemen. You might accidentally post things save things onto those shared albums. Luckily, none of them was spicy.
I mean, I didn't scroll through all of them, but
I
I did
promise
wonder
you-
whose kid is that. Like, why do I have photos of Mel? And then, like, if I delete them, will it delete yours? I think it will.
I think it will.
So I haven't done anything.
Okay. I'll check my phone soon. I will check my phone soon.
Sorry, last bit. Speaking of travel, so I've just booked flights to Vietnam
Ooh.
in December. That'd be fun. It's gonna be an island called Phu Quoc.
Phu Quoc.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Woof walk.
It is. It's southern Vietnam
Yeah.
because I think northern Vietnam has a bit of a monsoon vibe at the end of the year.
Oh yeah.
I think. South Vietnam, better. So
Right.
that's like the Ho Chi Minh
Yeah.
vibe. So we're flying through KL
Yep. Classic.
because there's a direct
Yep.
from KL,
Yeah.
and then into Ho Chi Minh, and then back to Melbourne. That's beachy vibes.
Right.
Now, the reason it's Vietnam, two reasons. One, Southeast Asia, great.
Yeah.
But two, between going for an Australian, and I actually want to know everybody's opinion if you've traveled locally and overseas, but going for an Australian beach holiday over the Christmas period versus going for a overseas Southeast Asian beach holiday, I think it's still cheaper to be overseas. Or if not, about the same, but you're in Southeast Asia. You get arguably get better food.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, probably. I
So
reckon.
we did the math. The flights are so in price across Australia, but you pay an arm and a leg for accommodation, and you have to pay for food that's probably not the best depending on where you are. Or I can be on a quiet Vietnamese, it's probably not a quiet island, but on a Vietnamese island, book a nice hotel potentially, have beach vibes, and have a banh mi. It's perfect.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. And then like you can probably enjoy more copious amount of alcohol if that's your vibe.
Potentially. I don't know about Vietnam. It's a bit sus though. You know,
Is
Southeast
it?
Asia.
You could do drugs.
They
'Cause,
water down your... Well,
like drugs actually.
Isn't Vietnam like a communist country still?
I just learned from someone that if you do MD, it burns lots of calories. That's why.
Does it?
Apparently, it keeps your body warm, and then obviously you feel like dancing, so you burn lots of calories. And apparently,
Ah.
sorry, this is like a side note.
I could burn some calories.
Find this very fascinating. A lot of people when they go to a music festival and they take MD, MDMA, yeah, MDMA, they would then
Also known as Molly.
also known as Molly. They will then take photos of themselves and their ripped abs because obviously they've had. Also, you don't
Because
feel
they've
like
had
eating.
because they've had enough MDs so that they could lose so many calories so they have abs. Is that how it
Yeah,
works?
yeah. Obviously they're like.
Is this what happened to Olivia Rodrigo?
No, why? What? But yes, I've also been to Olivia Rodrigo.
I know. Sorry, Mel's
Yes.
first concert. I'm going to
Ever!
presume that nobody was doing MD at Olivia
No, no,
Rodrigo.
no, 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 no. If
Just
any,
in general, not the vibe.
not the vibe, not the vibe. It's too kid friendly. I think it was very, and everyone was super excited. Anyway, that's MDMA. I thought it was really interesting. I was like, wow, is this why people do drugs?
I don't think that's why people do drugs.
But actually, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, because some people then say if you drink alcohol, you get more calories. So they do drugs instead to have less calories. Californian sober
Okay.
is what they call it.
Okay.
But yes, I went to my very first Olivia
I know, that's
Rodrigo
exciting.
concert.
Sorry, first
Sorry, concert.
concert.
And it's Olivia Rodrigo. And I don't know whether you are a big fan of her, but I feel like all her songs were songs that I would have wanted to listen to when I was an angsty teenager going through a breakup. Or like if my love was if my crush was like unrequited, because a lot of the songs had to do with like heartbreak. And I remember when we were young, my breakup song was Adele.
I don't think Adele was around when we were young. Are you talking
No.
like 20s?
No, I'm talking about, I think, never mind, I find someone like you, like 18, 19.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I felt like I chose such an old, like not old song, but mature person.
No. The only song from Olivia Rodrigo I know, very apt, is Driver's License.
Yeah, okay. No, but if you listen to all her other songs, it's a lot of not pining, but it's a lot of like, am I good enough? Why am I not good enough? And I feel like teenage Mel would have related to that so hard. And when she was singing this couple of like breakup songs, and everyone, I didn't realize that concerts were a massive karaoke. Everyone sang the same
Oh yeah,
breakup
did
song.
everyone get their phone out?
Yeah, as well.
Yeah.
But after the breakup song, she was like, I guess there's been lots of heartbreaks here, hasn't it? And everyone was like, yes! I was like, wow.
And everyone was like 25 around you.
No, everyone was like young. There was lots of teenagers. And then there's lots of mothers, and people of different ages. But it's, everyone has had heartbreaks. And at one of the songs, one of my favorite songs, I almost cried. I can't remember what's the name of it, but if it pops up, I almost cried. It was strong, man. Like, she was such a great performer.
So was this concert a life-changing moment for you?
It's funny. I don't know whether you've ever experienced something for the first time. Like, I think I sat there. The opening act was Benet. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with her, but she sang like this song called Super Lonely that was really popular during COVID. But I felt like I was absorbing everything that was happening for the first time. I tried not to use my phone too much. I did use my phone, but it was really interesting seeing people who were filming the whole concert. And then the friends that I went with, they didn't film at all. So I was like finding that fine balance of recording things I wanted to record, but also enjoying the moment, seeing the concert etiquette. Like, I didn't know that you could stand up. That you could stand up when you're in a seat to seat, because the first couple people started standing up and dancing, and people weren't mad. I thought people would have been mad by that, but they're not. I don't know. I think it is life-changing, but I don't know if I want to go to every concert. Because things are expensive, but there are a couple people that I would
Like who?
watch. I think if Chappell Roan came in,
Who's that?
she's the HOTTOGO. You can't take me. No.
No. Okay,
well,
that's fine.
You gotta,
Yeah,
you gotta
okay.
check.
Yeah.
I would watch Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Back in the day, I would have. Okay, if Hilary Duff were to have a concert.
Does she still sing?
She's still. I don't think so.
No,
but
she's acting now.
She's acting now, but I would have loved for her to be my first.
Okay.
And if I was younger, I would have loved to go to an S Club 7
That would have
concert.
been fun.
Yeah. So anyway, so that is my new thing that I tried this year.
Well, it opens the door to many new concerts, right? Because
Yeah.
you probably missed a lot of them this year.
Oh,
The Weekend was last week.
I don't care much about him. Sorry.
Coldplay is coming.
Oh, my brother got tickets to that.
Oh yeah, I'll be there. Which day did he get?
Not sure.
I'll be at Coldplay.
Taylor Swift obviously came and passed.
Yeah, but nobody's ever gonna get tickets to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even try.
Like you just won't.
Yeah. I don't know who else. I feel like this has quenched my thirst for a little bit.
Sorry, can we talk, can we talk about scalping and then we'll wrap up? But
Okay.
Scalping
Yeah.
concerts.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this recently because this past week, maybe the week before, F1 tickets came out.
Really?
And so I'm not a big F1 fan by any means. I have not watched Drive to Survive. I heard it will change my perspective
Carlos
on
Sainz
F1.
is my man, my boy.
I don't know who that is.
He was Ferrari. I don't think he's being signed onto Ferrari. But don't fact check on me. I think that was a couple of weeks ago. I don't think he was signed to anything yet. But Carlos Sainz is my man.
Don't know who that is. And see, that's the thing, right? So, but I had the ballot in, and I was picked to do the pre-sale, and I got in, and then, what do you want to buy? And buy the tickets. And I was thinking, do I really want to buy tickets? Now, ground pass.
Yeah.
Just pleb walk around the area on the Sunday.
Yeah. How much?
If you had to put a number on it, what do you think?
I reckon it would be 250. 200.
Close. It was 210.
Fuck.
Just to walk around. You don't see anything. Well, you might sit on the
I think-
park. The Albert Park, you can sit
yeah,
on the park,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But even then.
Things are so expensive nowadays, man. Like even I paid 150 for Olivia Rodrigo, and I was second last row. Whereas my friends paid for 150, and I think she was for Billie Eilish, and she was quite.
Billie Eilish was expensive though.
I don't know how she got 150 for where she was sitting, but things are so expensive.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sorry, a friend of mine actually made this comment. He was like, when he found out that it was my first concert, he's like, when I was a young kid, when I was in the UK, he would go travel to different European cities because it was cheaper to watch the concerts there.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, when I was 16, I was still buying pirated CDs.
Well, actually, when I was 16, I think I was at Panic at the Disco.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, no. What? I think 16 was Panic at the Disco. 17 was Paramore.
Okay.
Paramore was good.
Yeah, we'll see. I was poor.
You were a girl from Clang?
I was a
Is
girl
what you were
from
going to say?
Clang.
Right.
I was going to say, actually, I didn't even talk about this in the Europe travel thing. Just really quickly, at certain points because Croatia was a bit more expensive than we thought because they just turned to euros. And then Turkey became a bit expensive because of inflation. I, every once in a while, felt like a peasant. Like, I would order... The pasta dishes were the cheaper ones. So, I would order the pasta dish. My boyfriend would order, a meat dish because he didn't want the seafood dish. And I would look longingly at the fish platter or whatnot. And I'll see people next to me with the fish platter, with a bottle of wine. And I was like... And it was expensive. So I did buy the fish platter on my last day in Croatia. And it was the most expensive meal. Anyway, what I want to say was, at that point, I thought going to Croatia and Turkey would make me feel less like a peasant, but I felt like a peasant. So, yes, I am a
But
poor
you have
girl
the
from Clang.
photos.
I do have the photos. But I do have the photos. But deep down, I'm just a peasant girl. I'm just a peasant girl.
Well, look, we're not going to be on a private jet going to Seychelles, right? But, at least you got there.
At least I got there. No, okay.
And, flights to Europe are expensive.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm not saying I'm poor. I'm not saying I'm super, super, super poor either. But things are expensive. Things are tough.
So, yes, and so $150 for it, but...
Yeah.
And to the point about scalping, do we really think it's wrong?
To scalp?
Yeah. Because... And so Ticketmaster sorry. In Australia, for those of you that don't know, it's regulated.
Yes.
See, in the US, you can buy a ticket and you can sell it for whatever you want. It's a free market.
Yeah.
In Australia, we've got laws against scalping. And so what they've done now, Ticketmaster, for example, has a Ticketmaster resale website.
Yes.
So a lot of people want to sell through that because that's where the buyers are. It's safer. It's
It's
like you
safe
know the
if you're
barcode's
the
going to work
buyer.
exactly,
Yeah,
etc. Right?
exactly.
But from what I can tell, at least from what I know, there's a limit or there's a band of some sort that you can sell, so you can't overprice the
Yes.
ticket.
Yes.
And so this takes me back to the F1 tickets when I was about to buy them. 210, crazy. But I could have bought 6. And this
Shit.
thing will sell out.
It will. 100%.
And so can I not make some money from it because I spent the time to go in and buy this? One, I was lucky enough, but also, do that, hold on to it and make a profit out of it. What is it wrong?
Yeah, so I think that's some elitist mindset. No, because I think I can't, it's, if scalping was allowed, then it would only benefit the really, like the rich. Like, for example, my friend managed to get a Taylor Swift concert ticket in the end for $500, and she then managed to buy a really cheap one by chance, and it was $75, and they were the same-ish seats. So,
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm thinking. Well, it's a free market, and so
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
thinking more of if they couldn't get in,
Yeah.
or they were late at buying tickets, and they're like,
Yeah.
I didn't realize I wanted to go, but now I want tickets.
Yeah.
And I can be like, I've got tickets.
Yeah.
Do you want to buy mine? But I have to charge you more for it because clearly you're desperate.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how do we?
I think it's about like whether you prioritize buyer's protection, right, against people robbing, like people taking advantage of a system. So if scalpers were allowed for any of the concerts they were going to, how many of them would buy a copious amount of tickets and then sell them for a lot more expensive, thus preventing true fans for attending whatever concert of the stars? Or are you preventing the poor? So are you preventing people who
Well-
aren't as rich to attend the concerts?
Well, and see, so I agree with ticket purchase limits. So that Ticketmaster
Yeah, okay,
stops you
okay.
from buying more than 4 tickets for some concerts, more than 6. I get that.
Yeah.
Because that's one way to limit people from buying 20 tickets if you can afford it and sell it
Yeah.
later.
Yeah,
You're buying
yeah,
6
yeah,
for
yeah.
your group of friends. I agree with that. But then they regulate the price after? Don't know. And mind you, the reason I bring this up, so I want to know from our listeners what you think about scalping. I'm not saying that you want to abuse
The system.
the system or the
Yeah.
market, but it feels strange.
I think it's probably the debate between wanting to be in a nanny state. Like, it's whether you want that protection or not, right? Like, people probably feel the same way about paying more taxes to fund certain public infrastructure, probably. It's whether how much protection do you want. So conversely, if you were living in an area where there is no limits, who does it protect? So if it protects, in a way, if it protects the rich and disadvantages people who might want more of that fair go, is it worth it? I guess that's the question. And coming from peasant Mel, actually, I should probably utilize this persona more. Peasant Mel is very grateful for the resale market being regulated, but I understand that if you have the capacity,
Oh, that's true. I'm the same, right? If I want to buy a ticket, I don't want to be overcharged for
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
curious what people think. And the reason I'm curious is the next episode we want to do
cost of living
will be a little bit about cost of living. I'm very curious to talk about subscriptions and things like that,
Yeah.
right? And so, how much are people paying for concert tickets nowadays? How much are
Yeah.
people paying, especially in a world where milk prices doubled, egg prices
Netflix
have
is
doubled.
no longer is cutting down on password sharing. I've been kicked out of everything.
Fucking Netflix has an option where you get ads. How do we go full circle back
Yeah.
to cable TV?
And also, how is it that Netflix are now not allowing you to to share passwords during this economic crisis, but also cutting down on quality TV, like canceling Chaos, which is a great TV show.
is it?
Cancel season 2, and they're gonna renew. Like, I actually do love Emily in Paris. Don't get me
What are we,
wrong.
season 3 now?
Season 3, season 4, I'm not sure.
Yeah, one of
but they're renewing the season, and it's fun, but it's not quality. It's not chaos. And also, like, they cancel like Shadows and Bones, Glow. They've been canceling all these.
But see, you know what's going to happen, right? They're going to introduce a new show that you're going to say is so good, you're going to get hooked on it, and then you're going to go back to Emily in Paris or How I Met Your Mother for 3 months, and they're going to give you a new one, and that's how they keep you hooked.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, cost of living's true, but I also think that corporations are clamping down on password sharing during the most probably pressing time in our current economy for young adults.
See, that's like scalping on a bigger scale. You get what I mean, right? It's a very similar topic in that who does it disadvantage?
Yeah.
And where is the regulation? And again, I'm not saying we should regulate Netflix prices because it's a free market and all that sort, right? You have other options. You have Disney, you have Netflix, you have Amazon. There's
Disney's doing the
competition
same
in there.
thing. Disney's doing the same
Oh,
thing.
Disney is so expensive now, $17.99.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Peasant Mel says no.
Well, see, I'll, on the next episode, I want to explore this. I want to know what we're spending on, how much we're spending on it. Do we still have, and actually this is very important for me, are people still spending in the way they normally do in the current economic environment? Because everybody's saying things are expensive,
Yeah.
and yet the economy hasn't slowed down.
Yes.
And so we're going to leave that for the next episode.
Yeah.
And then we'll hear more from Mel's triathlon training on the next one.
And more. Well, we hope you enjoyed the format of today's podcast, and hope to talk to you again soon.
Do you have cling wrap over your terrarium?
Yes.
Bye.